Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am a usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulohoyani. Yesterday on Wednesday, I got communication from Malisela Teffo about how he had been assaulted. Yes, assaulted at the offices of the Legal Practice Council in Pretoria. The regional offices of the Legal Practice Council in Pretoria, allegedly by security officers and one Mr. Brill, who is the acting director of the Legal Practice Council in the Gauteng province. Now, just to get matters into perspective, I would like to read you verbatim, word for word, the affidavit that Teffo sent to me, so that you get it, so to speak, from the horse's mouth, word for word. And I'll endeavor to do that in the shortest possible time so that, I don't take hours and hours reading you this. It is fairly short. It is about 7 pages, and I will endeavor to read it as best as I possibly can. This is the affidavit that Malisela Teffo deposed to in Pretoria yesterday. It goes as follows. I, Malisela Daniel Teffo, state under oath in English and say, 1. I am an adult male, African, with legal capacity to depose to this affidavit. I am a permanent citizen of the Republic of South Africa with identity number so and so, aged 54 years old. I am residing at 4118 Avada Bendeman Boulevard and Mariel's Place, 6 Fountains, Silver Lakes, Pretoria, East. My mobile numbers they are provided there, and there's an alternative number which is also provided. I am self-employed as an advocate of the High Court of South Africa, and mark that. He says I'm self-employed as an advocate of the High Court of South Africa. 2, this is paragraph 2 now. On the 13th of January 2025, at about 16 hours, I arrived at the offices of the Legal Practice Council, corner of Paul Kruger and Madiba Streets, Pretoria. Upon my arrival, I met 2 security officers at the entrance of the building and offered how they can assist me. I was in the company of one Mr. Aubrey Makofani. However, Aubrey didn't stay as he was rushing against time to attend to a mechanic elsewhere in the Pretoria CBD. One of the security guards advised me to approach a lady who was sitting at the reception desk after I signed for my personal details in the register. I thereafter approached the lady for assistance. Let us now get to the second page. Just bear with me, and as I get to the second page, yes, this is the second page. He still states that I, Daniel Malisela Teffo, and so on and so forth, states under oath in English. I told or spoke to the lady whom I never knew, whose name I never knew to date, that I had come to see Mr. Ignatius Brill, the newly appointed director of the Gauteng Provincial Legal Practice Council. Council. Provincial Legal Practice 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 Council. The lady phoned the office of the said director, and his secretary came to the reception in no time at all. 5. The secretary of Mr. Brill introduced herself to me as Mandlakazi, and I did the same. I then told her that I was advised by the LPC personnel at the Pretoria Towers offices of the LPC to come and see the director regarding my concerns. Mandlakazi informed me that the director was in a meeting. However, she will go and inform him about my presence at the offices. She went to the director, and within 3 minutes was back to the reception. The feedback she gave me was that the director said he cannot see you, and he advised that you must leave the building as you are not welcome, as you are not welcome. And if you resist, the security will escort you out of the building. The feedback from Mr. Brill left me paralyzed and dumbfounded. Let me go to the next page now. Sorry for that rather interruption. I'm trying to make sense out of this. At the reception was myself, 2 security guards, the lady at the reception desk, and Mr. Brill's secretary. However, before I could respond to Ms. Mandlakazi, Mr. Brill arrived at the reception in the company of one black male person, whom I later knew as Spiwe, an employee of the Legal Practice Council. Mr. Brill did not greet me. He told me in no uncertain terms that I must leave the building, and that the security will escort me out of the building if I resist to leave voluntarily. So I attempted to tell him the reason why I was there. He was not interested to give me any hearing. However, he told me that I know that I've been struck from the role as a practicing lawyer, and I must just leave the building, because otherwise I'm in contempt of the court order of the Legal Practice Council, and the police will be called to come to arrest me for that. My response was that I will not leave the building until I get an audience from him, and he must call the police if he so wished. He instructed Mr. Sepiwe to phone the police to come to arrest me. Let us move on to the next page. He instructed 2 security, that is Mr. Brill, he instructed 2 security guards to throw me outside the building, and Sepiwe joined them. The 2 security guards started to manhandle me, and both Sepiwe as well as Mr. Brill joined them. Then 4 of them started to assault me at the reception until they pulled me outside the building. I told Mr. Brill that he was treating me that way because I'm an African advocate. He told me that I am struck from the role, I'm struck off from the role, I am no longer a lawyer, and told me further that I'm just a criminal who is unlawfully trying to represent other criminals who killed the soccer star in Box Bay. Mr. Brill said that he was further informed that I am unlawfully representing other criminals at the Johannesburg High Court. And among others, there was Mr. Radovan Krecher. The incident took plus or minus 20 minutes. I was slapped on my face as well as being kicked by both 4 people. I left the premises of the Legal Practice Council intending to go to report. Let us go on to the next page. Intending to go to report. Intending to go to report the incident to the police station. It might have been after 4 minutes. After that, I left the LPC premises when a police patrol van stopped next to me. It was the police from the Pretoria Central Police Station and 2 police officers. And then there were 2 police officers, Sergeant Mahlangu and Matebula. The officers informed me that they had received a complaint about me from the LPC. I told them that it was true that I was at the LPC building and I was assaulted by the security as well as the director of the LPC, Mr. Brill, and one of his staff members. I then requested and/or proposed to the police that we should go back to the building. The officers appreciated my suggestion and they told me to get inside the police van, and we went back to LPC offices. On arrival at LPC offices, we found my assailants still there, 4 of them. However, the matter was not solved by the presence of the police, as Mr. Brill still refused to talk to me about the theft of my files and the issuing of my certificate of good standing from the LPC. Let us again move on to the next page. Next page. How do we get there now? Sorry, just bear with me. Next page is here. Okay. He goes on to say, I went to the LP offices on the 13th of January 2025 because the late Mr. Estelle Felsman, the risk and compliance manager of LPC, had broken into my chambers together with City Properties personnel and stole my files, including 14 files of Senzo Robert Meyiwa case, namely Foslores, CAS 636 of 2014 and Fosloras CAS 375 of 2019 respectively. On the said date, I had pre-arbitration meeting with the Deputy Director, Linswane, of Correctional Services, and we did not have the file of Mr. Homotso Moledi, as it was also stolen with other files. However, I have reported the offense of housebreaking and theft at the Pretoria Central Police Station during June 9, 2023. The case was still under investigation at the said police station, and I was never informed about any progress regarding the investigation. The investigation officer was Sergeant Boroko. I did not give anyone permission and or consent to assault me and to call me a criminal, as well as calling my clients criminals who killed Senzo Meyiwa and criminals who killed the late Mr. Issa. I can be able to identify my assailants. Next page, then this should now be leading to the last page, I think. Must be getting now to the last page. Let me see. Yes, this is the last page. Thank God. I decide that further police investigations and prosecution in this matter. I decide that further police investigations and prosecution in this matter, yes. I know and understand the contents of this affidavit, and I have no objection to taking the prescribed oath, and to take the prescribed oath as binding on my conscience. I swear that the contents of this affidavit are true, so help me God. Signed there, Malefela Teffo. And it bears a South African police services stamp. I think the place here is Doornkop, the stamp of the Commissioner of Police, and also it also bears, the stamp of the commissioner, the person who commissioned the affidavit. So there you have it. Teffo has been assaulted. I think about three episodes ago, I told you how on the 13th Teffo assured me that he was going to get his certificate of good standing from the LPC. But apparently that did not happen. So yesterday he went there, like he's saying in this letter, and was assaulted. So yes, he has opened, or is intending to open, a case of assault and crime and injury against his assailants. His assailants, he clearly identifies who his assailants are. Top of the list is Mr. Brill, who he says has just been recently appointed as the director of the Legal Practice Council in Pretoria. The security guards were there, and some other people, a total of about 4 or 5 people. So Teffo has been assaulted. As we speak, he does not have his certificate of good standing, which he had promised me he would get on the 13th. There you have it. What do you make of this? Therefore, it's getting quite a problem, trying to come up into the sense of Meyiwa trial. Like I said, one of the prerequisites for him, to be admitted back into the fold of advocates, to make his way onto the role of advocates, is he must have his certificate of good standing from the LPC. And without the certificate of good standing from the LPC, it becomes very difficult or virtually impossible for anyone to practice either as an advocate or as an attorney. So you have it from the horse's mouth. Who has been assaulted in the run-up to January 20th when the trial resumes. Let us wait and see. I'm sure I'll get another update from Teffo. So look forward to another update on the latest saga around him now, and I'll keep you updated in the next episode. I promise that I'll make a follow up to some of these things, and chat to him and get you a much broader perhaps perspective of what is going on. Thank you for watching this video, and please kindly keep on subscribing and viewing as usual. Thank you very much.